Welcome back to the Grim Workshop. Today I'm going to show you how to take a trash resource like a flip-flop and we're going to make a survival boat quiver. I found a pretty cool resource that had washed up on this island and I'm not going to get to utilize it today, but I'm going to show you how I found it, and then when I get back home I'll show you how to use it. So there it is, that old nasty flip-flop. May not look like much, but we can do something pretty cool with it. Now this is the Gulf of Mexico and this is pretty clean right here. When I was in the Atlantic last year, there was garbage everywhere. I mean, I had to wade through garbage to get to the islands when I was coming on the east side of some of them. So even though this is cleaner, you are still going to find trash washed up on shore. And the ability to see that trash as a value and be able to craft something with it is all the difference in the world. If you're anywhere near water, a trash resource like a flip-flop is pretty darn easy to find. This is something that if you're wading, it's going to slip off of your foot. It's going to get blown into the water. And then once it's in there, this thing's going to float and not really degrade. It's just going to wash up somewhere waiting for you to find it. This slip-on style arrow quiver is a really old design, but using a flip-flop to make one, that is an idea I got from Dave Canterbury. So Dave did a video on this years ago, and I just learned it from him, and it works really well. Whenever you grab your bow, you're automatically going to have your ammunition with you. And this works with really any style arrow. I've got wooden arrows, I've got carbon arrows, and then here's a collection of river cane primitive arrows as well. Now the modern versions of these has a cover or a hood that goes over and covers all your arrowheads. So you can see if you poked yourself in the leg or if you fell out of a tree stand, you've got all these exposed heads, and that's not going to really work out well for you. So it's up to you to be careful. But this is going to work really with anything you put in it. I've got field points for practice. Here is a 4-bladed Grim head. There is a homemade trade point. And it's even going to work with napped flint heads. Now this style of quiver works best with a flat limb. Now this takedown folding survival bow has flat limbs, so it works perfectly with that. It's going to work with any modern recurve as well as a self bow like this. But today we're going to be kind of adapting a little bit. We're going to put this on one of our PVC survival bows. Now you could do this with any of the Grim tools that has a cutting surface. So I could probably even do this with a spear point or one of the arrowheads. But we're going to be using the knife off the Joe Flowers card. I'm going to come in about 3/16. Next thing I'm going to do is just knock the edges off here, 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 and right here. So here is our flip-flop quiver on our PVC improvised survival bow. So I wish that I had 2 flip-flops to work with. If I was building this at home from purchased flip-flops, I would buy one for the top, one for the bottom. This is pretty skinny right here. I wish I had a little more meat on here. I set this up for 5 arrows. So I figured I'd have a half a dozen arrows and I'd have one knocked ready to go. But this is still completely functional. And the arrows just slip right out. So I've got it cut top and bottom. Then I'm able to knock my arrows. And when I put them back on, it does have a tendency to slide a little bit just because it's a rounded limb. So I just kind of have to support it and press it in. But for a free bow quiver made from trash, I'll take this. Let's put some shots through it and I'll show you how it works. The ability to have your arrows with you whenever you pick up your bow is a pretty big plus, and the ability to make that using just a tool in your wallet and a trash resource is pretty cool.